My name is Harry Rios. I am a piano player and singer, originally from New Orleans. My parents are from Puerto Rico, and my specialty is blending those two styles of music, Latin music and
Mhm.
particularly New Orleans jazz, and putting them together using songs that we all know, particularly in the cruise ship from the 60s and the 70s. But I like to do this with every form of genre of music.
Awesome. Uh, I'm not going to go into it, but if people want to reach out to me, my listeners want to reach out and figure and try to get the gist of this whole story. But we met on a cruise ship. You were performing. I was a guest, but you thought I was somebody else.
Yeah.
But I just to tell you, this is gonna be like inside baseball for people that are listening. Just to tell you what I literally just did right before you and I jumped on this call. I signed up for uh, 3 months of stand-up classes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So this spring, I will make maybe either my one and only stand-up appearance,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or or it'll be the beginning of something weird. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
Oh, that's going to be
But
so awesome.
I bit the bullet. But
Yeah.
Harry, listen, it's a pleasure chatting with you. Again, I really enjoyed your shows that you did on the Princess Cruise that my wife and I were on for my birthday. I want to sort of start off here, Harry. Um, you grew up in New Orleans. Your family, you tell the story on stage. Your family is very musical. Talk to me about growing up in sort of this place that is filled with music, filled with history,
Yep.
and your family's also um, musical. Talk to me about that. What was your environment like? What was your life growing up like?
Well, first and foremost, musicians, at least when I was growing up, they're seen almost like like celebrities, They're very
Mm,
revered in the city. So I live in Orlando, Florida now, and there's a lot of places for musicians to be, whether it be in the parks or at beach clubs or country clubs, whatever. And But the treatment of the musicians is not the same. I would say
mm,
it's not amazing, but in New Orleans, there's just this reverence for musicians and music in general. People
yeah.
really appreciate live music. The
Hmm.
natives, New Orleans natives, really appreciate live music over anything else. They want to see a live band or they want to see, live musicians. So it's one of those few places that I've seen, in my travels around the country that have sort of retained that, live music um, preference.
Yeah.
At places, you'll have DJs and, that's totally fine. But I come from that place where there's that reverence, and I still have that same reverence for musicians, even if people don't really share that,
Yeah.
in my circle. That's something really special about that. So it was the coolest thing to be a musician. Like, are you kidding me? That's like the coolest thing you could be when you're
Yeah.
in Portland. So it's like it was a no-brainer for me. It was like, yeah, of course I'm going to be a musician. My dad's a musician, yeah. So being surrounded by that, it was very easy to get bitten by the bug and get into the whole music scene, and that's probably the thing that stands out the most, for me growing up there.
Was it, did you take to music easily? Like, did you understand? Do you have, my son talks about, I'm always impressed with my son. He picks up an instrument, he can play it. He never sort of dives into something in terms of music, but it's sort of like, oh yeah, I can play the piano, and he hits a few keys and he can
Yeah.
start playing something. He's always
Yeah.
been able to read music. But was it easy for you? Was it simple? Like, tell me about yourself and like you getting started in music. You loved it. Your dad did it, but
Yeah.
how easy? How hard was it? Maybe.
I think picking things up by ear was always easy for me. Um, it was just something I never thought about. It was just something that I did,
Yeah.
and I would hear something and then I would try to mimic it. So that would be my my strength, and that would be the thing that got me into it really, really early. But
Mm.
later, it wasn't enough, because I didn't understand what I was doing. I was just copying stuff, and I got really good at that. But it's like, what if
Yeah.
I wanted to do stuff on my own? What if I wanted to sort of branch out and improvise or whatever? Like, I wouldn't be able to do that because if I'm
Okay.
copying everything verbatim. So I really set on a quest to learn how to do those things. And then reading music was very beneficial to me, in terms of like diversity in my playing. I could
Okay.
go if I went to gigs, it was really, really important that you need to be able to read for this certain gig. And then
Mm.
other gigs, it's more important for you to use your ear. So to have those, two things. But I would say the reading came as a real challenge to me, because I had waited so long before I decided to do the reading. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. That
Um,
And when I was trying to just when I was trying to work on theory, like theory came easy to me later, but at first it was really difficult because I was trying to teach myself and I didn't have any teachers. I would have my dad, I would ask my dad questions,
yeah.
but for the most part, I was trying to figure out. He's not a piano player, he's a trombone player. So I'm trying to figure out this theory and
Okay.
all of this stuff on the piano, and I was getting so frustrated in the beginning, but once it clicked, it was like all of a sudden on the other side of it. And
Yeah.
everything was like it was like running downhill now, you know?
What attracted you to the piano? Your dad played the trombone. My son plays the trombone and he can play the piano if he wants to, but
Cool.
what attracted you to the piano?
The piano, I remember one night I was watching this program called Louisiana Jukebox, and
Okay.
that was a popular program in the 90s in New Orleans, and they had different acts on a lot of local acts, but the beginning of the show had like an intro and it had uh, like snippets of different artists, Louis Armstrong, Miles Davis, Nat King Cole, whatever. And I saw this one piano player, and I don't know who it was. To this day, I'm not sure who it was, but it was all in black and white, and it was sort of an overhead, like shot of him overhead in an angle. And his hands were going everywhere. Like his left hand was just like doing stride. It was like that boom chuck stride, and the right
Yeah.
hand was just like blah, 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 just going crazy. And I was looking at this like, what in the world is that? I was probably 6 years old, when I saw that,
Wow.
and right there and then I remembered. I remember thinking right there and then, that is the coolest thing. I don't know what he's doing, but I want to do that. And
Yeah,
that was what got me interested into the piano.
that's amazing. Harry, I wish I got one more question for you, but I wish I had so much more time with you. But my one, I interview musicians quite often, and um, one of the things that I'm always impressed with is someone or a group that could figure out a way to make their art their business.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is to make a living from their art. And you, at least from where I'm sitting, seem to have done that. Um, Tell me if you can, and maybe in a couple of minutes or so, how you sort of bridge that, because that seems to be a challenge for a lot of people. They love playing music, they love performing, but they sort of can't figure out a way to, cross that I don't know what that is, that gap to say, oh, now, I can now make a living from
Yeah,
this and,
yeah.
and continue to talk to me about that journey for yourself.
Well, I think there might be some things like geographical location might play a factor into it.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, I had evidence in my family that it could be done. My dad
Okay.
he's been a full-time musician all his life, and he's never done anything else. So I
Okay.
saw that and went, okay, well, it can be done. It's proven. So I just need to work my butt off until I can be able to do that. So when I got out of college, I was working pretty much right off the bat, full time as a musician,
Yeah.
and never really did anything else. So there wasn't this moment where I had to sort of bridge the gap. I guess coming out of school and going into the world, there was
Yeah.
that. But even
Yeah.
in school, I was immersed in music. My degree is in piano performance. And I would have to say that the thing that separates the people that do it full time from the people that maybe haven't dipped their toes completely in it yet, a lot of it
Mhm.
is fear. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think people are afraid to make that jump completely. And it's not that they can't do it, they can do it because every level is like that, like getting to the next level, there's this when you plateau and you're ready to go to that next level, there's that bit of fear that you have to overcome to just go, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it. And then that's only then is when you get to that next level that you want to go. So I think
Yeah.
mostly it's fear. It's not about talent, it's not about any of the other things. It's all in here.
All right. Listen, we're at that time of year where people are looking forward to the new year. They're making plans, they're making resolutions, they're sort of thinking what's their next step.
Yeah.
Um, this question isn't about your next gig, but what is next big picture maybe for Harry?
um I haven't talked about this, but maybe this is a good time to bring it up
All right.
uh, exclusively right on your podcast. I am the big project for 2025 that I'm working on, and I've already made some great headway on it. It's called mypianobyear.com, and it is
Mm.
me teaching lessons for the internet about how to learn piano from scratch. You know nothing about piano, you don't have to know anything about it. I show you right from the very beginning. And it's completely free. I've got 7 videos that are currently being edited. Videos 1 through 3 are complete. Videos 4 through 7 are being edited right now as we speak. And we're hoping to have that done by next week. The site will launch in
Amazing.
2025 and completely free, mypianobyear.com. If you want to,
Mypianobyear.com.
yes, you can find My Piano by Ear on Instagram. You can find it on the website when it launches. It's not launched just yet, but
Yeah.
when it does launch in 2025, then you'll be able to sign up to it and start watching the videos right away. And then, yeah, later on the line, we're just going to build from there.
That is awesome. That literally goes to my next point. I always ask people, where they can be found. So go to my piano by ear,
By ear.
on Instagram,
Yeah.
or mypianobyear.com. And if the site's not up, just refresh every week until you find it, especially if you're interested in piano. If people want to find out about you, your gigs, your show, follow you
Yeah.
outside of learning play piano. Harry, where can people do that?
You can find me online, Harry L. Rios Piano, for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Awesome. Harry Rios, this has been a pleasure. It's a pleasure chatting with you again.
It's a pleasure chatting
Um,
with you as well.
yeah, look forward to keeping in touch and all the best. We'll talk to you
Yes.
soon.
I'm going to keep it posted on your comedy career.
We'll do. The career. I will see. We'll see. We'll see. Take care.
All right, you too.